Welcome to the Seriously Social A3 assessment process. You know, social media is big business. It's getting bigger, and you actually have the opportunity to control your destiny if you get serious about this. And by that we mean turning friends and fans and followers into actual measurable sales. So with that in mind, this is a brief overview of what we do, how we assess, align, and activate a plan for you with your input, and then either manage the plan for you or turn it over to you. The choice is always yours. What we do, we first start out by listening some more. We record the first meeting and send a summary of our next steps. We then agree on an assessment process and a timeline that best suits your needs, and then initiate our proprietary online assessment process. Our assessment process consists of assessing your people, your processes, and your preparedness, both for today and the future. We look at your online and offline efforts and your competitive position relative to your competitors. We then look at your message to market, your delivery systems for that message. We then compile the results, report the findings, and make some formal recommendations for your company going forward. Our alignment process. From step one, we then align your goals with the findings. We create your voice and message and position with your input. We then identify and train your resources for your plan. We then develop the formal plan that is visible and creates the momentum to carry this plan forward in the weeks, months, and years ahead. Our activation process. We agree on short, medium, and long-term goals. We create the projects and activities to get things done. We then monitor the results and the key performance indicators that we establish together that meet our objectives in terms of a successful campaign. We then assess, adjust, and keep the dialogue open between all parties. Some assessment basics would consist of, in general, what is your web strategy and why? What is your competitive position and your competitors' strategy? Are you on Google's first page in the first two positions? If not, what are the steps and processes to get you there, which we can help you overcome that? If you're not, you're missing out on some serious opportunity. And the upcoming trends that will impact your business, mobile device and social media. What's your plan to address this? CRM and basics. Do you have a CRM program that's used like it should be? Is it integrated with your website with key activities reported in real time? Are the lead processes ironclad with lead processes well mapped out? Do you have a vision of exactly where you're going with this whole process? Your vendor analysis. Is your material and copy leaving a good first impression? Is it properly structured with calls to action and offers to improve your response rate? Have you checked their performance lately? Are they doing what they said they'll do? In the following screen capture videos, we'll briefly review a live client and look at the assessment, the alignment, and the activation process. So with that, we'll jump into the next section of this video, the screen captures. The first step in our social media assessment process is far from taking the personality out of our approach, which again begins by listening and talking to you to understand, what your goals are, a little bit more about your industry. It also does help to have a detailed understanding we can use as a reference point going forward. So with that, we have our proprietary online assessment process. It takes about 30 minutes to complete. This is a brief overview of the first two sections. Number one, understanding social media gives a basic background and importance level to whether or not you have your profiles created, do you have a social media manager, etc. Do you have your daily, weekly, monthly activities well defined? If you don't, there's no worries there. That's what we do. But this you can take at your own leisure. We don't have to spend a ton of time on the phone. You can actually pass it out to your employees and ask them these questions. So we come on down past the understanding social media part to the next section, which is branding your company. And this is very effective and necessary to actually create the kind of voice and brand that will drive your company forward. Do you have an online name and tagline, for example? Have you identified your speaking voice? Critical. Are you fun, professional, or boring? What is what's your message? How do you want to create your voice for your audience? And we come on down here. It gets in a lot to the technical detail. More technical detail is available beyond these first two pages, but that gives a brief overview. What we'll do is jump in now to the end results and what this looks like. The next step in the assessment process, again, without all the mindless detail, is to understand the assessment you just took, the online assessment. We rank it and score it, not to take any of the personality out of the process, but it very quickly helps us understand where the weaknesses are. Beyond social media, there's a lot that needs to go into building out your campaign, whether it's an email campaign, autoresponders, CRM systems, what's your philosophy with respect to website design and search engine optimization, and what is your personal philosophy having to do with customer service and your response times, or do you want to get back with people within 30 minutes immediately next day or next week? And when things are not in alignment, then your perception is weakened in the marketplace. Our job is to physically understand exactly the detail. We do it very simply and very quickly here. It allows us to augment a social media campaign, in this case, with other complementary technologies. So with that, this again is just a brief overview of the scoring system, some of the questions that we have, what your goals are, and a score. And it comes down here, and in this client's case, comes all the way down. We have a total score relative to opportunity, and that allows us to sort of give you an overall grade. It's very objective. It takes, again, about 30 minutes to get through, but it complements the whole process designed to help move your social media campaign forward. So with that, we'll jump into a summary of the actual findings. The next part in the assessment process, if you choose to engage with us for the full longer-term program, is to present a formal summary of findings that you can take and act on, whether it's social media, search engine optimization, website design and development, but formally addresses the gap that exists between your existing strategy and the opportunity, and aligns you with the strategy that will help you overcome your competition in whatever form you choose to use this. So with that, this is a brief introduction to the summary of findings from an actual client, and comes down to the next section, which is just a table of contents, clarifies the gap summary by product and department, what the goals are, the objectives are, priority listing, and some next steps, and then starts off with the formal understanding and gap summary of, say, project management, SEO, CRM, lead generation, direct marketing, all the different complementary disciplines that in this case would go into augmenting a successful social media campaign. And we present an executive overview here for the owner or the senior partners, whomever you choose. It gets down to a return to roots customer service example in this case, and down to a SWOT analysis. Briefly introduces your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, and then by department what goals and objectives are, marketing objectives, ad themes, and fulfillment processes. And again, this is for the full service program, and with this we'll get into how we take this actual data and report everything you've seen today and dump it into our online program, which keeps us accountable to you and you accountable to us, and sort of keeps things moving forward. So with that, we'll jump into the next section. Okay, and the last phase or stage of our assessment process is to take everyone's input, the general notes we've taken, the assessment, the overview, anything that needs getting done and not depending on an Outlook taskbar or Word document or hoping that things get done, and creating an online project for your company and track all the other complementary technologies and tasks and milestones that go into creating a successful marketing campaign for your company. In this case, we're going to keep it specific to social media, but this is what we call our online tool. We have a collection of to-dos that are specifically, in this case, related to social media, and you spend most of your time here in the messages section, primarily here in the to-do list, and we'll open this up real quick and show the complementary to-dos and physically understanding, social media, how to get started, what the first step is, what the second step is, and all the current to-do lists having to do with social media management. We have a 4-step process we go through. We look at Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube basics, project management basics for your team, CRM, SEO, lead generation, metrics creation and establishment, website content, and website development. All the complementary strategies that go into helping you become top of mind with your clients, whether it's online or offline, is all put into here, and the goal is not to turn everyone into project managers, and it's safe to say that very little gets done on time. There's a lot of reasons for that, but it does track things systematically so that nothing falls through the cracks, and this, again, is the final step in our process. So with that, thanks so much for your time and looking at the A3 assessment process we go through. And if you have any questions, please feel free to visit us online and contact us. We'll be happy to talk to you at a time of your convenience. Thanks so much for your time. We know it's valuable. Thanks so much for your time. Please take just a moment or two and look at the annotations below, some additional videos that we have in this series that you might find interesting, or visit our website for additional information. Thanks so much for your time. We know it's valuable.